You got the raise. Your income increased. Your lifestyle improved. So why don't you feel rich? Why does it still feel like money disappears faster than it arrives? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Earning more money does not automatically make you feel wealthy. In fact, for most people, it makes the pressure worse. Because as income rises, expectations rise, expenses rise, standards rise, and suddenly, the version of rich you were chasing moves further away. In this video, we're going to break down why most people never feel financially satisfied, even when they earn more than they ever imagined. The first reason you will never feel rich, even if you earn more, is lifestyle inflation. When your income increases, your spending quietly increases with it. You move to a better apartment, upgrade your car, dine out more often, and justify bigger purchases because you deserve it. None of these decisions feel irresponsible. In fact, they feel like progress. But what actually happens is that your financial baseline resets. The new lifestyle becomes normal. The higher expenses become permanent. And the emotional reward from earning more disappears quickly because your brain adapts. This is called the hedonic treadmill. You run faster, but you stay in the same place. The problem is not earning more. The problem is allowing every income increase to expand your fixed costs. When fixed costs rise, pressure rises. And when pressure rises, freedom disappears. So instead of feeling rich, you feel obligated. You feel committed to maintaining a higher standard just to avoid moving backward. And that is how higher income can quietly create higher stress, instead of higher satisfaction. The second reason you will never feel rich is comparison. In 2026, you are no longer comparing yourself to your neighbors. You are comparing yourself to the entire internet. Social media constantly shows luxury vacations, new cars, designer homes, and overnight success stories. Even if you earn more than you ever have, someone online always appears to be doing better. This creates a psychological gap between your reality and your expectations. Instead of measuring progress against your past, you measure it against someone else's highlight reel. And the goalpost keeps moving. When your income increases, your reference group changes. You stop comparing yourself to where you started and start comparing yourself to people earning even more. That comparison steals satisfaction. It convinces you that you are behind, even when you are ahead. Wealth becomes a moving target instead of a personal milestone. And when wealth is defined by external validation instead of internal stability, it becomes impossible to feel rich. Because there will always be someone spending more, earning more, or displaying more. Comparison turns progress into pressure, and achievement into insecurity. The third reason you may never feel rich is debt and hidden obligations. Higher income often comes with larger financial commitments. Bigger mortgages, car payments, subscriptions, and lifestyle upgrades create ongoing pressure. Even if your salary increases, A significant portion may already be promised to banks and fixed expenses. This reduces flexibility. And without flexibility, wealth does not feel real. Real wealth is not just income. It is control. When most of your money is already allocated before it reaches your account, you feel trapped instead of empowered. Debt magnifies stress because it turns income into responsibility rather than freedom. And when financial decisions are driven by maintaining status instead of building assets, the feeling of richness fades quickly. That is why some high earners still feel financially tight, despite impressive salaries. The fourth reason you may never feel rich is that income is not the same as wealth. Income is what you earn. Wealth is what you keep and grow. Many people focus entirely on increasing salary, but ignore asset building. If your income rises, but your savings rate stays low, your net worth barely changes. And without growing assets, financial security does not improve. True wealth comes from ownership. Ownership of investments. Ownership of businesses. Ownership of appreciating assets. When your assets generate income, you begin to feel control instead of pressure. But if all your money depends on your time, you are always one disruption away from instability. That uncertainty quietly affects how rich you feel. Because deep down, you know that if the paycheck stops, the lifestyle stops. Wealth is not measured by how much you earn this month. It is measured by how long you can sustain your life without working. And most high earners never calculate that number. They upgrade lifestyle instead of upgrading assets. That is why income growth alone rarely produces a feeling of true financial freedom. So, how do you finally start feeling rich, even before you become extremely wealthy? You shift the definition. Instead of measuring success by income, measure it by freedom. Freedom to handle emergencies without panic. Freedom to say no to opportunities you do not want. Freedom to take a break without financial collapse. That kind of richness comes from low fixed expenses, growing assets, and controlled expectations. It comes from increasing your savings rate when income rises, instead of increasing your lifestyle. It comes from focusing on net worth instead of comparison. Most people chase a number, but the number keeps moving. Real financial satisfaction appears when your money works for you, instead of controlling you. When your investments grow quietly. When your expenses stay intentional. When your goals are internal, instead of competitive. You may earn more every year and still feel broke if your standards rise faster than your assets. But if you build ownership, reduce pressure, and define wealth personally, you can feel financially strong long before you reach extreme income levels. And that is when money stops being a source of stress and starts becoming a tool for stability and choice.